Alright, hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk to you about this wooden clamp, a DIY wooden clamp that's very cheap. I think I've calculated that it cost me about $5 to make it. So we're going to go through different steps during this video. First of all, I'm going to describe what this wooden clamp is made of and give you the different sections and different length and width that you're gonna be looking for. And then we're gonna see why you would need one for your own workshopping and woodworking experiences. And lastly, we'll see how to use it. But first of all, I'd really would like to thank two YouTube channels that got me inspired into woodworking a bit more. Huge thanks to 3x3 by Tamar. So I think she's a Northern American woodworker, and she has very cool and inspiring projects and videos about either how to make T-box or whatever, but she also talks about how to make tools for woodworking, and that's really interesting. So huge shout out to 3x3 Custom by Tamar. I'll try to put a link somewhere. And also thanks to Olivier Verdier, which is a French woodworker that also has a bunch of inspiring woodworking projects. But right now, let's get to it. Let's get to see what this is made of, how it's made, and how useful it's going to be for the next upcoming projects. Let's get to it. Alright, so at the start of the video I've shown you this prototype, which is actually the second one I made. It's complete, it's got all the different pieces that it's going to be made of. But for simplicity purposes, I'm going to show you a teared down version of my very first prototype, so we can really look at each piece and how it works and what it's made of. So these clamps are made of one vertical rod made of wood. So I think this one, it might be beech, I'm not sure. And this is about 3/4 of an inch wide. Now this other piece, so I'll be calling it the mat, because it looks like the mat of a boat sticking out of your bench. Now this piece on top, I'm gonna call it the head. Here it's made of pine. It's probably not the right wood for it. I choose for the next prototype I chose something harder than pine, but that was just for prototyping purposes. So this piece here is the head. It has to be about twice as wide as the rod you're going to be using. So here it's about 1.5 inch wide. And now you have here a threaded rod going down, and here I've been tapping the wood. It's actually quite strong, stronger than I thought. So this head piece is tapped with an M8 fillet, or M8 tap actually, so that I could fit this this threaded rod through it. So that's an M8 threaded rod, and you can obviously change the length of the rod. Here is a little handle so that it's either to screw it down or unscrew it. And at the end of the threaded rod, you will find a round bottomed half nut. So the rod can't go through, it actually ends into this nut. And the point is that this piece here, the fact that it's rounded, is going to seat right into this pressure pallet. So I've got a washer down there, and the rod, the round bottomed nut, will come and self-center itself into the washer that's down this pressure piece, this pressure pallet. It will self-center itself, and it will help even out the pressure onto the whole pallet, so you don't damage the piece you're trying to clamp down. So that's what this clamp is made of. And now let's see why you would need one and how to use it. So why would you need this type of clamps? A dog hole bench clamp, a vertical bench dog hole clamp. Don't know what order I should use for these words. Anyway, it goes into a dog hole, and it's a bench clamp, and it presses vertically, so it's a vertical clamp made for dog holes. Anyway, So let's say you want to work on a piece of wood, and for some reason, which happens way more often than we would like to, for some reason you need to have it sitting in the middle of your bench. You can't have it to the sides because maybe you're working with some equipment that prevents you from placing your piece closer to the edges of your bench, and therefore you cannot use regular clamps like this one to secure your piece of wood. You would use maybe a pair of these and the wood wouldn't move, but today you're gonna have to work in the middle of your bench. And there is the issue, because the clamp, no matter how hard you try, it's not gonna extend magically to hold your piece of wood right in the middle of your bench, and you cannot safely, or you cannot at all, extend the length of your heads of the regular clamps. You know, you can't just have it as long as you want. So the solution lies into dog hole bench clamps. This bench isn't drilled yet. It's gonna be in my next video. So let's just assume that this piece here, this piece of wood, is your bench, the bench you're working on. And we're gonna want to secure safely to clamp this piece of wood on your bench. So that's a simulation. So now I'm gonna take my dog hole bench clamp, vertical bench clamp, and I just have to insert it effortlessly into a dog hole, okay? At first, when the fitting is too tight, you might want to use a mallet to slightly tap your clamp in place, but whatever, you can do it by hand as well. And here it's the V1 prototype, so I'm gonna place this piece by hand, but in the V2 prototype you can see that it's attached and it can't go away. We'll see how to do that in another video. But the point is, you're going to approach the end of the threaded rod and the pressure pallet to the piece you're clamping. So I'm gonna use the mallet here, right, and I'm gonna screw this threaded rod down, thanks to the tapping that was made here in the head. And now I can feel that there is contact between the round-bottomed nut, the washer, and therefore the pressure rod. And all I have to do is keep on tightening the whole assembly, the whole clamp. So if I keep on twisting, screwing it clockwise on top here, the force exerted down this piece of wood towards the bench will be greater and greater, because the length of the threaded rod is trying to extend, but it's limited by the flexibility of this spine head and this mat, which is made of probably beech. So the harder you tighten it, the more twisting force you have through the head and the mat. But the results, whatever, we don't really care how it works. The point is, you're having this pressure pallet that is holding down, clamping down really strong your piece of wood. So here you can see I can't move it side to side anyway. All right, it's so strong I can just take it somewhere from any side and put it upside down on the side, wiggle it around. That's really a good and well working clamp. And when you're done with your work session, when you're done working on your masterpiece here, all you have to do is unclamp this piece of wood you were working on. So just unscrew the clamp on top of it, it's free again. Here the pallet is loose and I can take my masterpiece out. Whatever kind of work I've been doing on it, there's no marks, there aren't any marks left. It hasn't been imprinted with the pallet, because the pallet here, the pallet is wide enough and it evens out the pressure efficiently, so you don't have any bruising, any marks on the wood you've been working on. And that's why these clamps are so cool. And when you're done working, you can take them out by hand here, and have a bunch of them here laying around next to your bench, ready to be used in the different holes that you're going to be drilling or that you have drilled in your bench. But that's going to be a subject for another video. And in the next video we're going to talk about how to actually build one. So I've described it to you, described how it works, what it's made of, but in the next video we're gonna see step by step every single step that you need to take to make one of these. So that's my V2 clamp, the second prototype. This is made either of acacia or maybe robinia. I don't really know what but it's stronger than pine. And this prototype, my goodness, how beautiful it is, and how well does it clamp. I'm actually really proud of it, and this is gonna be the topic for the next video, how to make it and how to make it clean. Yeah, so I'll be using robinia, and another thing I wanted to show you before leaving you guys is how it's gonna look once finished. So that's the raw wood from the shop, and that's with just a single layer of wax. So I don't know if you can see the reflection on the camera, but it has sweet golden silverish reflects. It really looks good on some sides at least. So I can't wait to have a bunch of them prepared and finished and ready to be working with. Alright, that's it for today. I was very happy to make this video, produce this video. It was really fun to make. I was happy to show you this clamp, what it's made of, and I can't wait to show you more, mostly how to actually build it. So thanks for listening to me. It was, well, it's a pleasure. If you enjoyed this video, please maybe like it. Leave a comment, positive or negative, whatever. I mean, I can always improve or learn from what you thought. And it would also really mean a lot to me if you subscribed to my channel. That would really make me happy. So thanks for today. Have a nice day and see you next time for more either woodworking experiences or general workshopping work. Have a nice day, be safe, and bye.